Oh, something different.
Acts of the Apostles, chapter 1, verses 6 to 8. When they therefore were come together, they asked of him, saying, Lord, wilt thou at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel? And he said unto them, It is not for you to know the times or the seasons which the Father hath put in his own power. But you shall receive power after that the Holy Ghost is come upon you. And ye shall be witnesses unto me both in Jerusalem and in all Judea and in Samaria and unto the uttermost part of the earth. So the disciples were with Jesus on the last day before he ascended into heaven. And they were concerned because they were still in a season where Israel was subjugated to the rule of the Roman Empire. The Roman governorship was in control. Roman leaders were making the decisions in their country. This went against the grain of the proud Israelites. They had to be paying taxes to the occupying nation. They had to be subjected to their laws. And they had been chafing, waiting, seeking, praying for the coming of the Messiah. For the expectation was that the Messiah would restore the kingdom to Israel. Well, they waited and waited. Jesus came, and at points in his ministry, it seemed as if, yes, this is exactly what he was going to do. If you remember when he fed the 5,000 men, not counting women and children, they tried to forcibly crown him king, but he took himself away. You will remember that whilst it was that he was going up to Jerusalem to be killed, there were people laying their clothes on the road and palm leaves for him to trod upon as they hailed him, Hosanna, Hosanna. Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord, because they were still hoping that this was the conquering king who would come and vanquish the enemy and bring back the rulership to Israel. So here it is now. He died and rose again and spent 40 days teaching the disciples. And as he did this, and as he shared with them, he had now gotten up into the hills of Jerusalem as he got ready to leave them. And the disciples says, hang on, we want to ask one question. Is it now that you're going to restore the kingdom to Israel? Is this the time? And Jesus said to them, that's not for you to know. The times and seasons are set by God. They are upon his authority, and they are not your concern. Wow. But that's what we've been talking about these past few mornings. God being in charge of the times and seasons. But sometimes, doesn't it bother you? When will this season end? When is going to be my time? The time for my breakthrough? The time for my deliverance? The time for that change? So often the enemy distracts us by our concerns about the times and the seasons, that we sit back and wait for the time or the season to change, for things to change. But let's take today the command, the instruction, the encouragement given to the disciples by Jesus. He says, don't worry about the times and seasons. God's got that. He'll take care of that. But understand this. You shall receive power after the Holy Ghost has come upon you. Though the times and seasons may not be in your control, though they are not up to your decisions, you don't need to worry about them. You have power. You have dunamis, the word from which we get dynamite and dynamic. Dunamis. It speaks of miraculous power. It speaks of the power to achieve, the power to accomplish, the power to control. God's miraculous power working in and through and out of you to do what needs to be done. So, stop being worried about the time or the season, but use the power that's within you, the dunamis that's within you, to accomplish and to have excellence and to experience greatness, irrespective of the times or the seasons. Your call is to walk in your power. Live according to your power. Let dunamis work in and through you. And God will take care of the times and the seasons. Remember, it's okay for the time not to change as yet. But it's not okay to live a life that's below the level of excellence you're called to. For greater is He that's in you than that which is around you. The circumstances, the situations, the seasons, or the times. Let's really talk about that today. I'd love to hear your comments. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Hit that notification bell. God bless you.